Hi students, in the last video we seen that a nuclear reaction, that is a fission reaction, about that we discussed, and that fission reactions also may be controlled chain reactions or uncontrolled chain reaction. So chain reaction, right? So to get that controlled chain reaction, what you have to make that absorption of certain neutrons and allowing only one neutron for next fission, right? So there we can be having the number of neutrons in the present generation and previous generation compared, and there we can be calculated a factor called neutron multiplication factor, and based on that neutron multiplication factor the given fission reaction is said to be a controlled chain reaction or uncontrolled chain reaction or maybe no chain reaction. So depends upon the value of K, right? So that we covered in the last video. So now in this we will see what is the nuclear reactor and what are the different types of nuclear reactors, and that we can see in this video. Now we can have here nuclear reactors. So based on the applications for which purpose we are using that nuclear reactor, accordingly we can be having these three types of reactors are there. They are research reactors, breeder reactor and power reactors. So here research reactor, the name itself it will be gives you research purpose, that is investigations to produce neutrons, to study about the radioisotopes. So producing the iodine isotopes or carbon isotopes or maybe neutrons production. So that study about the new inventions that we can be for that purpose, research purpose it is constructed. That is what it is called as the research reactors, right? Research reactors, and in this you can be getting neutrons can be produced or radioisotopes. Study about radioisotopes we can see. So this study about our investigation purpose regarding these radioisotopes that we can be observed to be get by using these research reactors, right? Similarly we have the one more, that is breeder reactor. So breeder reactors are breeder, it is nothing but it will be producing the new radioactive sample, that is it is converting non-radioactive nuclei to radioactive nuclei or non-fissionable radioactive nuclei to fissionable radioactive nuclei, it will be converted. So the device which is used to convert non-fissionable radioactive sample to fissionable radioactive sample or non-fissionable sample to fissionable sample, it is converted. That device is called as the breeder reactor, right? So you can have this breeder reactor is converting non-fissionable. That means you can be having the uranium isotopes are there, uranium 235, uranium 238. So uranium 235 and uranium 238. So this is a fissionable, but this one is isotope of uranium, so which is not fissionable with a slow neutron. So this should be converted into a fissionable one, that is you can be having here this plutonium 239. This is converted to plutonium 239. Now this is fissionable, this is non-fissionable, this is a fissionable, but this is also fissionable. We are converting non-fissionable to fissionable. This type of reactions we can be observed to be getting in this reactor, which is called breeder reactor, right? So breeder reactors are nothing but the reactors which are used to convert non-fissionable radioactive sample to fissionable radioactive sample, or converting non-fissionable to fissionable radioactive sample is called as the breeder reactor. That means it will be produces which one? Fuel. It will be gives you a sample or which is a fissionable sample, it can be produces, that is used as a fuel in the nuclear power reactors. So in these power reactors, so this is also a nuclear reactor which is constructed to get the power to be generated, the energy produced during the reactions, there you can be observed to be get that energy is converted to useful or applications for our day-to-day life, right? So that is what is called as the power reactor. So power reactors are the reactors which can be used to generate electrical power or external, that energy whatever we can be having or getting or generating in this, that is converted into useful application of any form of energy, correct? So that is what is called as the power reactors. So these power reactors are use it to produce what? Electrical power generation, right? So that type of applications are there, this one, right? That is a power reactor. Okay. So based on the applications of these reactors, they are constructed like this you can be having. Correct? So research reactors. Research reactors, you might be observed, that is in your BARC, that is in Mumbai, you can be having the BARC, BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center. So that is produces, it will be having the number of power reactors are there, breeder reactors are there. There, it will be having the production of power generation also, as well as it can be produced with the nuclear fuel also, and also study investigations also. So that is, you can be having this Apsara, Cyrus, and also you can be having the Purnima. So different types of these nuclear reactors are under the branch of which one is BARC. It is that is Bhopal Atomic Research Center. So in this you can be having this Apsara, Cyrus, and Purnima. Like this, you can be having the different names of the reactors which are under this BARC. So these are the different names of the nuclear reactors which are used to generate that is a fuel as well as generate power. So this is a Apsara will be just gives you 1 megawatt of power generated. Right. This one it is gives you around 40 megawatt. And this will be, it is a multiplier. You can be having this plutonium multiplier. It is. It will be used in research purpose, or it can be produced with a breeder. That is plutonium 239. It will be generated in this. That means it is a fuel generator, which is nothing but a breeder reactor. So based on these applications, so this will be, we have the BARC. Under the BARC, it will be having this working of all these nuclear reactors. Right? And now we can be study in detail about the nuclear power reactors. The nuclear power reactors. For getting the power to be generated in the nuclear reactor, what are the requirements are there? What are the main parts present in that nuclear power reactor? Okay, that we can be discussing. Correct? So now we are getting into the power reactor. So here, nuclear power reactors. Nuclear power reactor. So in this, what are the main components and what is the principle of nuclear power reactor? That is already I said yesterday itself, that means in the last video itself we did or we discussed, that is the nuclear power reactor has the principle is controlled chain reaction or sustained chain reaction which should be required. For that sustained chain reaction or controlled chain reaction, the neutron multiplication factor should be equal to 1. So this is the principle involved in the nuclear power reactor, right? The nuclear power reactor has or it works on the principle of which one? It is neutron multiplication factor should be equal to 1. And what are the main important components present in this nuclear power reactor? So the main important components present in this are, you can be having this one is a fuel, nuclear fuel. And the second one is you have these moderators. And the third one we have these control rods. And the fourth one is coolants. And fifth one you can have protective shield. So these are the main important parts present in this nuclear power reactor. So this nuclear power reactor, as already drawn on the board, this is what it can be having the schematic diagram of nuclear power reactor. Great. So in this this outer part, which is what it is called as a concrete wall, that is called protective shield. Correct. So this is the concrete wall. It is a thickness about 10 meters, 10 to 15 meters of thickness. This concrete wall, or this is made up of concrete or steel, which is not allowed to enter or go out of that reactor by the any radiations produced in that reactions. So for that we can be having this concrete wall, right? And within this you can be having the aluminium cylinders are there. These are the aluminium cylinders where the fuel is filled into that. Then the fuel is filled into these aluminium cylinders, and there is small gaps are there. That's aluminium cylinders are just nearby that you can be place moderators. These are rods. The long rods are kept nearby these aluminium cylinders. These rods are nothing but they are moderators, right? And now here you can be observed to be having there is these rods which are kept near to these aluminium cylinders. They are called control rods, right? And coolant. Coolant, here we have this water that can be flow here. It will be continuously whatever the heat generated the energy that will be cools down, and this water will be gets heat up. There will be this energy will be passing here, and this will be water is gets heated up, and it will become vapors. That vapors will be come out of this nozzle, right? So this is what is the diagram we have. Now we can discuss one by one. Fuel, the nuclear fuel we can be used in this. You can be having the natural uranium, that is U-235, or plutonium. You can be observed that 239 are the general nuclear fuels used in the nuclear power reactors, right? And these are taken in these cylindrical aluminum arrangements. In that we can take in this nuclear fuel, right? That is placed at the center of this part of whatever we have that arrangement. And in the vicinity of these two, surrounded by the moderators. So here we have the next one is moderators. So moderators are, what is the functioning of moderator? So moderator can be used to make the neutrons which are generated during that nuclear fission reactions. Initially they are called as a prompt neutrons, or the neutrons which are having very very high kinetic energies. That fast neutrons are not are unable to having the fission with the uranium-235. So we have to make that kinetic energy of neutrons to be lowered. It should be decreased. So to avoid or to decrease the kinetic energy of the neutrons which are produced during the nuclear fission reactions, we have to absorb certain amount of energy. So slowing of that fast neutrons can be takes place to make the next fission reaction to get a sustained continuous chain reactions in the nuclear power reactor. Because of that, we are using here moderators. So what is the functioning of moderators? They will be slow down the fast neutrons. Slow down the fast neutrons which are produced during the nuclear fission reaction. Right? And what are these moderators we can be used in general? Generally the moderators are used as here. We can be having the graphite rods, or maybe you can be used heavy water, that is D2, so deuterium oxide. Okay, this is a graphite or heavy water are used as a moderator in these power reactors. And the next one is control rods. So control rods, what is the functioning of control rods? These control rods are kept here, inserted into the holes of these what is this arrangement will be there. This is kept near to these aluminum cylinders where the nuclear reactions are took place. So there we can be placed these control rods here, wherever we have that cylinders are there we can be kept these control rods. Once these reactions are made started, there you can be the neutrons can be produced. That neutrons can be absorbed by these control rods. Control rods are taking that neutrons and not allowing for the uncontrolled chain reaction. So these are absorbed the neutrons which are generated, and continuously you can get the chain reaction with controlled manner you can get. So absorption of neutrons can be takes place. Controlling the chain reaction can be takes place by using these control rods. right? So these control rods are used here to absorb the neutrons which are produced during the nuclear fission reaction to make the reaction to be under control, right? So those are nothing but here control rods are kept. So based on the requirement of that number of reactions to be takes place, these control rods may be inserted downward or maybe you can be pull up also. So you want to make absorption of more neutrons here, you can make them to insert them. You make a pull downward so that it can be, that control rods can be absorbs more neutrons, so number of reactions will be decreases. The energy generated in that reactor will be lower. Or you want to make more energy to be, more fission reactions to be takes place means it should not be absorbed a much number of neutrons so that these rods to be lifted up, pull up outward, so that they can be absorbed the neutrons, but less number of neutrons they can be absorbed so that more number of fission reactions takes place, energy can be generated more and more. So it depends upon the requirement, depends upon the capacity, depends upon the construction. So all these are considerations. These control rods will be kept up to some extent inside these near to the cylinders, the aluminum cylinders where the nuclear fission reactions are takes place, right? So that is what how your control rods are there. Now these control rods are, what is the functioning of control rods? Absorption of neutrons, absorption of neutrons to make a controlled chain reaction, to get control, to control chain reaction. So for that you can be having these control rods are required. So these control rods generally you can be used boron rods or cadmium rods. Boron or cadmium rods are used as a control rods in nuclear power reactors. Nuclear power reactors, the control rods are used as, which one is? Boron rods or cadmium rods are used as a control rods in this nuclear power reactor where it can be absorb the neutrons to make that reaction to be a controlled one, right? So this is what you can be observed. And the next one you can see, this one is coolants. So coolants functionality is here during these reactions there is enormous amount of energy is liberated in the form of heat and also light or sound, different that observations already I said. So that energy where it will be goes? So that energy to be absorbed by the coolant. The coolant will be taken, that heat energy produced during these reactions, and these coolants are generally you can use, which one it is? It is, this is water. Okay, general normal water we can use, or also molten sodium we can also use as a coolant which can be absorb the energy generated during the fission reactions, and here we can use generally water, and this water will be taken that energy, and that water will be gets vapor, and that vapors will be come out of this open side at the top of this arrangement of this right side, and here we can be having this open one, and from that the vapors will be come out and they will be allowed to fall on the turbines which are arranged over there. The turbines will be makes to be rotate because of this vapor pressure. The vapor can be exerts the pressure on the turbines, and the turbines made rotation and the power will be generated. Like that you can be having here. So these vapors produced here depends upon the energy produced here. So how much energy it is generated, accordingly this water will be gets evaporated, and that vapors will be falls on the turbines, they will be gets rotated, and production of electricity can be takes place. The power can be generated. So in that way it will be applicable. So the coolants are used here as a water, right? And next we can be observe this protective shield, as I said. This is the external part. So within which only these total reactions or the total operations can be done. So which is having the protecting for the with respect to protection from the radiations which are generated during the nuclear reactions. So during these nuclear fission reactions inside the reactor, we can also get some radiations like that gamma radiations or alpha radiations or beta radiations. If the radiations are coming out of that reactor, if they are false, who are working over the nearby that reactor, who are operating the reactors, they can be get affected, and they can be get that is injuries can be takes place, and maybe getting the cancer, skin cancer, if the radiation falls on the surface of the skin or on the body of human beings, there is a chance of getting skin cancer, and also eyes will be affected, everything that is health hazards we can be say. To protect from the health hazards we can use very thick concrete shields are used or walls are used, that is made up of steel, or maybe you can be having this is also made up of concrete, which is having the width or thickness is about 10 meters to 15 meters of thickness will be there for this concrete wall or protected sheet, right, shield. So this is where what you can be having the external part, which is avoiding the not to go out of the reactor by the radiations produced during that fission reactions. So that is working as the usefulness of this concrete wall or with the protective shield or protective shield. So these are the what you can be having the important parts which are present in this nuclear power reactor. Correct? So we have to remember fuel, moderator, control rods, coolants and protective shield. So in this, what is the reaction? Already what we discussed in the last class or in the last video. So that is we can be having here U-235, it is 92, it is bombarded with a neutron. We can be having here, there are barium and krypton. Barium is 92, 141 and krypton is 36, 92 along with the 3 neutrons. Plus energy, this energy is approximately, how much it is? You can write 200 million electron volts of energy you can get. Right? So this is the nuclear reaction which can be takes place in this power reactor when we are using the uranium-235 as a nuclear fuel. Right? And in this, the 3 neutrons we are not making them to allowing the next fission reaction. Depends upon the requirement of the energy generation or produced or power generation. Accordingly, these control rods may be inserted or may be pulled out. Based on that, the absorption of neutrons takes place, so that here the number of fission reactions can be increased or decreased, can be under control. So because of that, we are calling these as control rods, right? So this is what it can be observed to be having the working of a nuclear power reactor. And in this, the power can be calculated. You can be having here power is equal to energy upon time. But energy you can be get within this much amount of energy. So per second, how many number of fissions are takes place? So that is, in every fission we are getting this much energy. So let it be n number of fissions are takes place. So total energy how much will be? N times of E you can write. So you can write here power is equal to N E upon T, or number of fissions per second is equal to power by energy. So how many number of fissions are takes place per second in order to get some amount of energy or some amount of power to produce that nuclear power reactor depends upon how many number of fissions are takes place per second. So that you can be calculated here by using this equation. Right? So where n is number of fissions per second per unit interval of time is given by P by E, power divided by energy which is produced in each fission. Then you can get number of fissions per second or number of fissions per time period is given by P by E. So this is a required equation for calculation of power generated in the power reactor, right? So how you can be calculated this energy? Already I given here the mass defect. That is the difference between the mass of the product side and the mass of these reactants. You can be having that difference. The difference is mass defect. That mass defect is converting into energy by using the mass energy equivalence given by the Einstein mass energy equation. By using that, you can be calculated, and we got that is equivalent to nearly 200 million electron volts. But generally, already I said it is 208 million electron volts. But in general calculations, we can be observed to be having here 200 million electron volts. It will become. Right? So that is what we have the equation, or that energy can be generated. But here per second how many number of fissions are getting to get that much amount of the power from that power reactor, we can be use this equation. So energy calculation we can be having this one, and power they will be give or we have to produce, and this number of fissions per second depends upon the mass. How many each nucleus of uranium can be having its fission can be takes place it is. So how many atoms are there? That many nucleus you can be having. So you can be having here this number of fissions is nothing but number of atoms how many are present in the given mass of the fuel. So number of atoms you have to calculate, and that number of atoms means that many fission reactions you can be getting. So that type of calculations are there. We will see some problems after the discussion of this topic. Great. Okay. This is about yours. Which one it is? Nuclear power reactors, and it is related to which one? Which type of reaction? Fission reaction. That is heavier unstable nucleus is splitting and getting the stable along with energy. That is we are using in this power reactor, where the conditions and the important parts which are present in that nuclear power reactor that we discussed, right? So now the next another reaction is what we have. Nuclear fusion reaction is there, and another nuclear fusion reaction, and before that some other observation related to this fission reaction also we'll see in the next video, right? Signing off.